So that was Joe Castillo, sand artist extraordinaire. See, we were serious about it being a sandbox game. So I'm Dave Georgeson. I'm the Director of Development for the EverQuest franchise. And it is August 2nd, and it's afternoon. So it's finally time to talk about EverQuest Next. As most of you know, it was about 2 years ago that SOE decided to reboot its EverQuest Next project in favor of striking out in entirely new directions. What we didn't tell you at the time was why. It was because enough is enough. Enough of the same game already. It's time to get some new ideas into this genre. And if somebody was going to do it, it should be EverQuest. Again. So we spent the first 6 months brainstorming out what we might be able to do, how far we could go, and what sort of limits we might have. And as we talked, the ideas started to piece together into a whole that was, well, it was really intriguing to us. So we spent the next year prototyping, trying to figure out which of our crazy ideas might actually work. And the cool thing was most of them did. So we're at the point right now where we're building something that's both heroic and social. We've taken everything we know about games and MMOs in general, and we're fusing the best parts into an original shape, well, that we hope will create triumph and passion in the gamers that play it. And that's you guys. So let's talk about that game. And the way that I want to start talking about that game is by talking about the world of Norath. When we decided to build this game and to take it all the way down to its core and start all over again, we decided to go ahead and do that with everything, including the lore. So we've taken a tip from, what they've done recently with the Star Trek franchise. J.J. Abrams kind of retooled some stuff. And what we decided to do was to maintain the names and the places and stuff that you've come to love over time, but tell new stories, interconnect them in different ways. So that as you explore through EverQuest Next, as you explore through this new Norath, you're constantly finding stuff that will surprise and amaze you. Now, that's the lore, and I'm going to leave most of that to the panels, but I wanted to take just a moment to let you know that we're going to be releasing new fiction on a regular basis as we go through the development process. And in fact, later today, the first of these stories will appear on the website, everquestnext.com. And you can download The Last Stand of the Tear Doll, which will have a lot to do with the sand painting you just saw. And I want to introduce, if some of the authors that are here could stand up right now, please. These are some of the authors that are writing our stories. In fact, they'll be outside and you can talk to them after the show here. Maxwell Drake wrote the first story. Thank you, guys. Anyway, so you also want to see what the game's going to look like. Well, to tell you how the game is going to look, I want to start with concept art. And in fact, the first concept pieces that I'm going to show you, some of them are areas that you know, and some of them will be new. The first area that I'm going to show you, the first two areas, are going to be subterranean concepts. This first one is a painting of what it might look like underneath Everfrost. Now, as you can see, we were doing treatments of color and lighting and things like that. And when we pushed this concept over to Lavastorm, it looked like this. Now, of course, we didn't just do subterranean stuff. We went for overground stuff, too, of course.